So when I got this truck with this Isuzu 6BB1 engine in it, I thought it would be good enough to buy parts and things just knowing what I knew about it, which was, the numbers on the engine and, some rough things just by looking at it. Well, that's not proving good enough. I need to know some things about alternators and some other things, and I can't figure out what this engine came out of, so I need help from anybody who knows anything about the history of Isuzu in North America. What in the world kind of vehicle came with a 6BB1 engine in it that was actually sold or imported into North America? Because there's a lot in Australia and overseas and everything with the 6BB1, but most of the ones here in North America, or the ones I can find in vehicles, appear to be the 6BD1 or the 6BD1 Turbo. And I feel like this came out of a vehicle for several reasons. That's why I'm saying vehicles specifically. It has a hydraulic pump mounted on the front of the engine. I know it's almost impossible to see, but it's down low on the passenger side. It has an air pump, air compressor, and it also has a vacuum pump on the back of the alternator. And I feel like all of those things would be combined would be for a vehicle. It has the downturned exhaust, and it has the upturned intake in the middle. Most of the tractors and equipment seem to have the intake down and back, and the exhaust usually goes up. That seems to be the standard for equipment. There were some white tractors. I think they were the 2-75 tractors, which were the same as the Isuzu, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Isuzu D9000 or Isuzu 9000, something like that. But those, for sure, they used the 6BB1, but they used a different manifold configuration. And I don't think they had the air compressor and things like that. And these all appear to be factory mounted for this engine, because it seems like they were all, mounted and painted together, and they all have the correct hardware and everything. And the hardware I've taken out has, never been out of the engine. It's like brand new threads. I will note the exhaust manifold is kind of tilted there for the exhaust to kind of run forward at an angle. I feel like that would get it away from the starter better. They chose to run it straight down, so this wasn't actually made to run the exhaust straight down. That's a modification. I really am wondering what this engine came out of, and I need to know, because people are starting to ask me when I go to buy parts, what vehicle did it come out of? And if you can't give us that, we can't give you a warranty on these parts, which is kind of annoying, but that's the way it is. They're like, we need to confirm the engine isn't good enough. We need to confirm what these parts came out of, or we can't guarantee you're getting the right parts. Even if I give them this is the alternator number, they're, well, we still need to know what vehicle it came out of. Anyway, there's a couple things like that, not just the alternator, but there's a couple things like that. I need to know more information. I thought I was going to be able to get away with just knowing what engine it was, but you can't do that anymore, because nobody uses paper catalogs. They all have to put it into their computer and figure it out, and everything's set in stone for them, because people aren't willing to actually use their brains anymore. But I need to plumb the depths of the internet on this thing. I have been researching this thing for the better part of a year, trying to figure out what this might have come out of. And I've been racking my brains, and I can come up with nothing. Internet searches, they pretty much all dead end. I've seen a couple square bodies and some Fords that people, just a couple, that are documented, people put this engine in, and it's similar in configuration. So they must have been available in the States. This isn't a one-off. This engine with these configurations was a thing. This isn't particularly special, even though it's unique to here, because apparently the 6BB1 in a automobile configuration seems to be pretty rare in the States. But if you have any information about these engines, or what vehicle they came out of, and any information about the engine itself would be appreciated. I know the basics, and I have a manual for it and everything, but that doesn't help you when it comes time to actually spec part numbers. So I had a harder time with the injection nozzles and things like that too, because apparently, like the equipment, the tractors, you know, they're a little bit different than the automotive applications, apparently. Even though I think I've got like tractor nozzles in this now. I don't know what difference that is, but I'm sure it's different. Anyway, if you have any information about this engine, I desperately am in need of what vehicle it might have come in, or even possibilities, or where to research, because I have exhausted all of my library of information and everything I can find on the internet that's readily available, that's not hidden behind a paywall or something of dubious quantity. So I would really like to know what this came out of. Not just like to know, but I kind of need to know at this point, because this is stalled, because I need some critical parts and I'm having trouble finding them, tracking them down, that they would be actually the right parts. I've been playing kind of roulette with some parts here, and well, that gets expensive after a while, ordering parts not knowing if they'll work. But I would greatly appreciate anyone who has any information on this engine out there. So if you have anything, let me know. I'll leave my email down there, and obviously it's down in the description, and a link to my website with the email there. As you know, you can find me 1,000 different ways, but if you know anything about these engines, the 6BB1 Isuzu, and the actual application they came out of, please let me know. I would greatly appreciate that. And it would really help move this project forward a little quicker. Parts of this have stalled because I've been trying to find the right parts, because I'm trying to do this the right way and not just, you know, do it half. So I would appreciate any information anybody has. So please let me know if you have anything. So I'd really like some information to continue this project, and if you know anything, let me know. There's some more videos coming out on this soon. Hopefully soon, and we're gonna cruise into how I did some of the wiring and some boring details on that. If you're interested in that, you know, subscribe, like, comment if you feel the need, and as always, thanks for watching.